Hello, welcome back. Or if you just joined us, welcome to the part 2 of the Saturday stream. Let me just move this microphone. Can we have a very quick AV check? We shall continue to Stormworks. I've got Captain Jack. Jack's back, as they say. And Sommy's back. But no Pups. Pups has gone out. Do you want me to put some beds on the boat and we can just sleep or something?
Yeah, don't you have beds on your tanker boat?
No, I took them off. I had no space.
Ah, okay.
You could put them on the door, and then when you open the door, they'll go vertical.
Wait, so that... What? Put them on the inside of the cargo door?
No, put them on the top, and then we'll sleep. And then if you orientate them, and then open the door when we're sleeping.
Oh, I see.
That'll be a nice, relaxing sleep.
Yeah, he could be kind and like put our feet the other way, so at least we're sort of laying upright rather than like head first down.
That's what I gotta do. Hang on, can we put one like that?
This is definitely an interesting wake you up mechanism.
Let's put let's just put 3 in maybe. There you go. Okay. Okay, well there it is. Spawn. Put the breaker on. Right, so yeah, if you get in the bed. And... Wait, what's... Oh, the throttle's gone.
Where's your throttle, then?
Oh, the throttle's gone.
Throttle? You don't have a button?
No, I haven't built all the systems yet. Hang on, I need to despawn and put a throttle on it.
Tut tut. You just can't get the stuff.
It's because if you notice, I've elevated the lid. During the break, I elevated the lid.
Oh, elevated, has it? Has it been doing yoga?
But why did you take the throttle off? I don't understand.
Well, I think it happened by accident. I think what happened was I must have, I don't know, I must have clicked a block and despawned it. That was not the plan. Let's see. Throttle to that. And then up input goes to...
You want the green node?
Wait a minute. That's better. That goes to 0 to 1, doesn't it?
Yep.
I think.
Not 0.25.
Yeah, it's 0 to 1 or 0 to 1 minus 1. I can't remember for the robotic door.
I think it's 0 to 1. How we doing, guys? Ninja Cat, thank you for 22. Welcome back. Puppy Laughing Part 2. Unfortunately, he's not here for Part 2. I'll just have to hope I didn't break anything else. How am I doing on this mad windy Saturday? It is still very windy, isn't it? It's crazy. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Alright, seal is off. Breaker's on. Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. There you go. You see, this is what Rhino want to do. This is what Rhino is trying to do on the planes. Get everybody to stand up when they fly.
Do you know what's really amusing is straight in my vision I've got the foghorn, like, pointing right at me. Like, how much for an alarm would that be? Like,
well, it's actually dawn for me, so we don't need to sleep.
well, it depends if you want to speed up and get a mission, because we need some research points badly.
Do you
That's
have any
very true.
research going?
Yeah, the jet engines are nearly done.
But
Oh
we've
no, the
only
jet
got
engines
2
are done.
points.
I finished
That
those
was
off.
plain stuff then.
I've got planes and jets now.
Yeah, because we were really trying to unlock that medium engine last time I remember playing.
Oh, we need some more points for prizes.
Indeed.
Blimey, where's the mission?
Yeah, mine. My independent save game just stopped delivering missions.
Have you tried getting to the Arctic yet?
No. I am worried about why there's no missions, though.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah.
Press N and look at the mission screen. Is there something going on there?
No.
There's not, because I wondered if there was too many active, but there's none active. Oh, there's one active.
Yeah, the install sensor module to oil well on ocean floor.
We can do that now because we've got diving gear.
That's a bit weird.
So if you go and get that one over and done with, it might kickstart another one.
Smaller Cobra, thank you for 16.
Door not closing.
Haven't been as active, has been super
only
busy in
set it to
school.
half.
No problem, mate, no problem.
Okay.
Stiggy, thanks for 29. I'm not in the bed, I'm falling. Oh, no, I'm balanced. I'm balanced.
You were running across the top of the beds.
Yeah, it's got the horn in it now. Air horn.
Do you have proper diving gear on board?
Got any? Yeah, I've got 3 sets of scuba at the front of the cabin.
Yeah, not diving.
We're diving for this.
Oh, no, that I don't know. Hang on, I just want to see where the lid is. Platform.
Coming up nicely.
Yeah, because I've elevated the whole thing, so there's more storage space.
Can you actually close that with the lid down?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
That wasn't what I meant. It was, can you actually close that with the platform up?
Now this used to be 4 blocks high, but now it should be a little bit more.
That'd certainly
Yeah,
be enough for the.
It looks about 7.
I think it's
looking at
6.
you in relation. Yeah.
I think I made it 2 extra, because if you look on deck, there's 2 more.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 6 high. I also removed some of the weights at the front, so it shouldn't be listing forward anymore.
You raise me up.
Oh. Did you say we don't have diving then? We've only got
Yeah,
scuba.
we need diving gear.
Do we have that unlocked?
Yeah, we unlocked it.
Okay, well, do you want me to put diving gear on this then?
Yeah. If you could.
How much fuel is in that tank?
It's
24.
full. Me and Pup did it.
I thought so. Okay, let me find diving gear. Do we need scuba and diving, or just...
Scuba is a little bit easier for doing sort of just in the water stuff, because the diving gear takes quite a while to pressurize with air. So it
Yeah.
can be handy having both. Scuba's generally better for just doing a bit of quick splashing around.
Like, you know, putting connectors on.
Yeah. And if you're only going to go under the water for a couple minutes, not even that.
I think that's the right way up. Kind of hard to tell.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
Alright, I'll do.
Could I just confirm the button on the back is now a toggle, right, rather than a press?
Do you want to give it a quick test before you take it to sea? Actually, it just seems still a little front heavy. Might put some weight at the back.
Well, it's going to be nose up while it's actually going forwards, right?
It will, yeah. It's just that when you fill it with liquid, if it's already nose heavy, it's gonna make it worse. Is that a
Right.
toggle?
Yeah, that's fun.
Right, so you've got your scuba gear at the front and your diving gears at the back here.
Awesome.
So I don't know if you two want to go and take that, and I'll try and make the control system work on this thing. You fix the winch on the
We
front.
can do, yeah.
It's a winch.
I'll
Oh,
do on fuel.
this is a mag on the front as well, by the way, so it's an anchor as well.
Oh, okay.
So you've got a tow connector on the back for pulling things, and you've got a mag on the front so you can anchor yourself down if you need to. Those ridiculous beds. They are not ridiculous. Those beds are amazing. And if you do want to open the door, don't forget to open the seal first. So
Yeah,
which
fine,
which mission are you doing?
We're gonna do the well sensor module.
Is that connecting something?
Well, I'm just trying to get it off the seabed, but yeah, hopefully eventually.
Is it being problematic?
Oh, it's a winch up or...
It's being heavy. No, it's fine. I think it's getting there.
Yeah, it's nearly there. There you go.
There you go.
Right, you're taking on fuel. I think you have a connector release in the, just to the right of the pilot seat.
Yeah, it works in the cab now, doesn't it?
The sheets will be getting wet. Dude! Yeah, that cable is properly glitched.
Yeah.
Like, the slack of it is inside the engine bay somewhere. There you go, it's tightening up now. Be careful! Right, you're basically pulling the ship now.
Oh god. Oh, we're moving. That did not feel good.
Had an upstairs bedroom, Tommy. It makes it top heavy when you do that. The more you build up, the more when the water's doing this, the top bit just wants to fall in the water.
Yeah, that's the problem I've got on my big tanker that I'm building at the moment.
Right, you got 3,000 so far. How far are you going to go? 6.4.
Yeah, it's 6.4 there and back. The sensor we've just got to throw off the side, haven't we, Jack?
I'm not sure which one this is. I think, no, this is the installing one, so you have to swim it down deep and then place it.
Okay.
That's the helipad. The helipad's 50k. Island to the north. Well, northwest.
Yeah, it's the other part to Terminal Spike X, isn't it?
SpikeX also has a train yard, which is cool. Have you unlocked any rail stuff?
I don't think we've been down the tech tree on that yet.
'Cause
I don't remember.
That's a good way to get to the Arctic, because sailing and flying really will take a long time.
Yeah, but you need to get the Arctic stuff, survival stuff as well.
Yeah.
So you get the heater and that kind of thing. Right, you got 5k of fuel. How much are you going for?
It's capacity 8.
8,400.
Yeah, probably take 6, that'll be about right.
Well, you can take as much as you like. It's just that you're going to have to pump it away at the end. So we don't lose it.
We can't just dump it overboard.
No, I didn't actually add the Greenpeace switch.
Do you want to disconnect it then, Jack?
Yep. That is not the right button.
It's inside.
Oh, That used to work.
Right, you got 6,350. And 17 to 18 RPS is optimum.
Has that lagged into the filler for you, Paul?
Yeah, it glitches up like this sometimes. It's really annoying. It's like, what we do is we don't reel it all the way in because it sometimes does this. It's a real pain, like I can't pull that away now.
Yeah. Okay, well that's a bit stuck.
Job for later.
There's nothing that we can do about that.
Yeah, I might build something to bridge the gap between the tank and the boats.
Well, in theory, you just want a crane arm with the diesel hose on it, don't you? On the dock side.
Yeah, something like that.
And I mean, even if you put it in as a buy point.
Oh, am I driving? Okay.
Well, it's up to you. You can if you want.
Kind of push the front of the boat out for you so you don't do what I did. There you go.
Welcome back.
So key 1 is reverse gear, and then you've got key 2. You don't need 3 really.
Okay.
And she's off.
Pretty responsive, I like it.
And then press 2 key and then drop the clutch back a little bit. So you're about 17, 18. Should be doing about 48 knots. Nice. Okay. So,
Yeah, speed's coming up now.
during the intermission, I raised the whole platform up 2 blocks, which gives us 6 blocks of height instead of 4. So it only used to come to here, now it goes to here. We've got extra space. There's a couple of things I want to do. One of them is the weight side of things. It's a little bit nose heavy at the moment. Just needs a little bit of some blocks moving back. But I'm not going to do that just now because like the weight is at the front of the boat and the center of mass is here. But it does seem to just do that slightly in the water. You getting an invalid pass, Dr. Paul? You getting what, Whiteland? The sim code is reality expansion pack for the stock X plane. I haven't managed to blow my engine. Proud of myself. Nice. So I'm going to do something else with that weight system later. I think for now what I want to do is have this whole thing on a push button. And then I also want to remove this and maybe put it on the back as an anchor. So I have it hanging off the back
Is it
here.
night for you, Jack?
And then have an
Middle of the
actual
day.
crane arm here to
Okay.
load things. So we can basically do this, essentially, and load things in. But what I want to do now is have like a push button raise lower on this. So this is where it's going to get interesting. Essentially, we want to have a button that when the button is off, the whole
Wow, that's quite
system
close.
is in a closed position. So that's how it will start, in an off position.
Yeah, it's
So that means the lid's down, the platform is down.
Like, if you had a massive draft boat, that wouldn't have worked.
Hmm.
Yeah, the lid's
Like my
down, the
tanker, for
platform's
instance.
down, and the door's sealed. But you can only seal the door once it's closed. So there's kind of like a step operation. You need to set that, then you need to set that, then you need to seal the door. The door seal, I'm thinking, you can drive off the fact once you know. That gives you the current rotation. So I presume that's 0.
We just
So when
lost
that
half our
hits
speed.
0, you can seal the door.
Yeah.
If it's not 0, then you can't seal the
But
door.
I didn't do anything. I didn't touch anything.
Wait, what's the matter?
Change your gear.
We just lost half our speed, but nothing changed.
Is what gear light's on?
Oh, I was in second.
Is the gear light on?
Yeah.
Yeah, the gear 1 green light is on the dash.
Okay, so you're in second gear. And what RPS are you doing?
Get my mouse to work.
Get max throttle.
Engine RPS is 9.
Okay, that's half what it should be. Have you... Okay, that's really weird.
And it's only doing 22 knots, and the throttle keeps pinging. It keeps going from 8.5 to 10 RPS, then dropping back down to 8.5.
Have a look under the boat and see if you've damaged the propeller or the rudder or something.
Both props are fine. Rudders are fine.
Okay, well, I would suggest basically bringing it back into normal gear and then max throttle, max clutch, and see what RPS you get. Do you have the logic stuff to make a single push button? No, we're going to have to make the logic up. That's why I'm trying to think it through.
Okay. At full throttle and clutch in first gear, it's doing about 16.5, 17 RPS.
Okay,
And we're getting 30 knots.
okay. And if you immediately press the 2 key, it should slow down. You bring the clutch back, so it gets to 17 RPS again.
As soon as I pressed the 2 key, didn't even touch the throttle or RPS. As soon as I touched the 2 key, it went down to 8.5 RPS and 23 knots.
Yeah, bring the clutch back. Like raise the clutch back so it comes back to 17 RPS. Well, it's toggle.
Yeah, I've got it at 17 RPS.
Both engines are running, right?
Yeah. Speed's still jumping about all over the place.
Speed's 30-ish constant for me.
It was 28, flinging up to 31, then back down to 28.
I've got it as like 29, relatively constant-ish.
Yeah, I'm looking at the decimals as well.
Oh, okay.
What was you saying? Would a toggle
that's
button
weird.
with an actual up-down be a better user interface?
Can you burn out a clutch?
No.
Hmm.
It was fine when we left port. It was when we got a certain distance from pool. That's when it started being weird.
So here's the thing. What you don't want is you don't want somebody accidentally raising the platform while the cargo's door is closed. Because if you've got cargo in there,
It's
it'll
got
crush
a
it.
Yobo sensor on it.
So you've got to stop that from happening. Which, you know, you can easily do in a logic sense. You can say, well, if this is not up, don't allow this to come up. That's one thing you can do. But it strikes me that if you've got the cargo door open, you want the platform up. And if the cargo does down, you want the platform down. So why not just operate it off one button? I want to put cargo in, or I want the thing sealed up. That's kind of where you want to be from a user interface perspective, I think. Is it on Steam? Yeah. So the real question is, how do we code that in a logic sense?
Just dropped to 24 for no reason.
Hmm.
I think it's just being laggy.
What are the red and green dots? So red dots are, if you like, control signals, and green dots are data points. Yeah.
Why is Whiteland's FPS so bad?
No idea.
Wait, what?
Whiteland's FPS is 20. Oh, hang on. It's coming up again now.
What, is Whiteland in the game?
Yep.
You should make us the clutch and throttle or dials so you can see they're already dials, Ducky. They're literally, if you sit on the pilot seat, there's a throttle. Look, I'll show you. Why am I saying this? You sit here, there's a clutch display here.
Bless you.
And a throttle display here. But what I can't work out about these is they go a bit wonky.
I'm gonna pull this round and
Like,
park
instead
up.
of going like from 0 to 1, what happens is this dial starts going in the middle, -1, and goes round to +1. Even though it literally says you can only be 0 to 1. That's one of the bugs in the system right now. It's reading the clutch value from the captain's seat. And access to, so maybe it's the values of the captain's seat. Throttle. No, it's not that.
I don't think we'll be able to move this
Welcome back.
I.
unless you want to just drag it off of the dock with the connector on the boat.
See, I don't get it. Unless that doesn't go from 0 to 1.
Is it super heavy?
Does the
Well,
pilot
there's
seat not
no
go from 0
handles
to
on
1?
it, and
The seat
it's
can do
probably
-1.
6
Oh,
times the
God.
size as a person.
Right, okay, hang on. I'll
Why does it
reposition.
do that? Why does it do that? Okay. Well, that answers that one.
If I bring the cradle down,
That means
Yeah,
the clutch,
I try and get the front end as close as I can.
because the actual clutch isn't going to do anything until it gets above 0, right?
so it's this corner.
That is odd. I don't understand that. Engine temperature, engine RPS. So I've actually got 2 engines. I should have connected both. Oh, no, I've got 1 engine. I've got 1 large engine, that's fine.
Wonder if I can hold the connector with Q and press the up button with E.
If J puts up
Yeah,
-1
you
to
can double,
1 and the dial displays
double
0 to
press
1
buttons.
by going
Oh,
past the
ouch.
edge.
Ouch!
I didn't realise the seat went from -1 to 1. That's the mistake. Trigger, thank you for 32
So can
months.
you turn the winch on? No, leave it where it is.
If you use the throttle slider, you can designate
Hang
a
on,
minimum
coming out.
setting and also a setting for the engine start and keep it running. Works better than trying to muck about with the clutch every time.
Winch down, there you go.
But how can I control the can I control the throttle with
Hopefully they get
hotkeys
knocked out
if
by
I
the
do
front
that?
of the boat.
Because I kind of like sitting in the seat and going W and S. Whereas if I have a throttle, then if I drive the throttle from the
it's all a bit
seat,
caught at the
it's
moment.
going to do the
Right, I'll
same thing,
reverse
isn't it?
tidy
It's
that.
going to go -1 to 1.
Is that? Oh god, you have to go down a little bit, I think. Yeah, there you go, and then back up. Right, I'll come back out. So I can activate that winch again when you get a bit of height.
Also, could take 2 on-off inputs to increase, decrease. So yes, you can use
That's a
hotkeys.
large
for it.
winch, isn't it? So we've got 100 meters of cable, haven't we?
This is a medium winch. But yeah, you should make it up there, okay?
Well, yes and no. How do we get? Because this only outputs a data point. It doesn't output an on-off. So if I press the W key,
Might have to
it
move
doesn't
over
output a
tiny bit,
W
it's
key
catching
press. It
on and
outputs
right
a data
trailing.
point between -1 and 1. Actually says
There
there.
you go.
Outputs a standard value between -1 and 1 controlled using the W and S. Causes the output value to move towards -1. W causes it to move towards 1. It actually tells you what it does. So you
So is
can't
that full
put that
winch
through
out?
a throttle.
That's not full winch out.
Can I have some more?
We actually have a lot of slack on it anyway.
I don't see how you can put that through a throttle. Unless I'm missing something.
Right, can you turn
What's the aim of the
magnet
game,
on there?
Dave? Create amazing vehicles to rescue people. Use a clamp to detect pressing.
Right, I think that may have it. I'm not sure. Hang on.
The mag light will turn off when it's connected.
Just put the throttle to the slider
Oh, really?
direct. have both the hostess and the slider as an input.
And also
Are you
make a,
sure it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere?
I'll also make a
Not yet,
ting sound.
Parker. That'll be something I'll be doing later.
Might be connected to the deck.
I don't think so. It's pointing like upwards on my screen. I can't haul it anywhere, so just try paling it in. Although I have a feeling that you may just want to reverse rather than actually pale the winch in.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a look at the
So
angle.
at the moment,
front.
that's going to the...
Right.
So you want like maximum cable and then...
Rather, I think if I just pull backwards, it's going to yank the magnet right off. So I'm thinking.
That's
So
the
I don't think you
platform
want
up
to winch
down.
in because it'll just lift the boat up this way because the connector's like stuck on the top.
You'll be using hotkeys 1 to 6 instead of the axes. It's just not as elegant.
unit.
Yeah. And well, what it really isn't as elegant because 1 to 6 is in
Right,
a
helicopter
a
for this one.
non-intuitive place
Right,
for
let's give it a
throttle, isn't
try
it?
anyway.
And then I'd have to remap 1, 2, and 3
So
for
if you
gears.
let
I'd have
the
to map
winch
that
out
to
full-
something else. It's a shame, really, because like it'd be better if this seat was a bit more configurable.
And then just slam it in reverse and floor it. But I am a bit worried that hopefully we'll be able to lift it once it's off this deck.
I think it's going straight down underneath anyway.
No, that's true.
Just trying to think how to
Yeah,
control
actually,
this
literally
system.
below us.
How do we control the lid
We're just going
and
to
the
get it off and then
platform?
it's sync.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice if the seat
Right,
provided
that's
options.
60.
Yep.
And that should be enough cable.
You put up with these minor irritations for 750 hours. Lol.
Essentially, it's stuck on the key block.
Right, reverse gears activated already. Here we go.
Right, so that's taking a rotation
Yeah,
target.
Just like literally as quick as you dare.
So the rotation target can be driven by a numerical switch, I think.
Oh, it's gone. No.
So the target's either going to
Oh!
be 0 or the
That
target's going to be
almost
1. Now, when that comes to the platform works differently to the hinge, annoyingly. The hinge is driven by data. The platform is driven by buttons, but it gives you the data. So it tells you what the position is, and the position's either 0 or it's 1. So with this one, you want to say, if our target is to go up, then keep the up button pressed until that gets to 1 and then stop. That's kind of the logic. Is the video frozen for anybody else?
Okay.
Yeah, it's just Twitch. You probably had a broken data feed.
Pull that cable back in.
Could you drive the hinge via the number platform on the... That's a very interesting point, Baz. I suspect you can. That might be a useful thing,
Well,
actually.
it almost worked.
The rotation
Yeah, it's one
target
heavy
could be
weight.
based on that. So if that is in position 0, this is in position
Might hit
0.
on the front of the boat.
That's down. That's down.
Still good.
If it's in position
on the-
1, that's in position 1.
If you move
So
it
I think we
left a
can.
little
I think we
bit,
can
you
drive it,
can't
Baz.
because you're on it.
No.
Actually, that would be fine now.
If we link that
For the
to
cable
that,
come back up.
the hinge
Yeah,
will
do you wanna
always do what the
reverse slightly?
platform does.
Yeah.
So then all we're gonna have to worry about is like sending this in the right direction.
Or can you grab it from there?
So if the toggle button is on, then you basically hold the up key down.
Oh yeah, I got it.
And if the toggle button is off,
Uh,
you hold the down key
Winch
down.
out.
In other words, you put this through
Is the mag still on?
Nope, mag's off.
some kind of decider that says if you put this on, route the
No, I
output to
can't
one of
get it.
these two.
There's just not enough room.
Isn't there a thing for this? Isn't there a switch that can do that?
Welcome to the Nut House.
Rebel for FW, thank you very much for subbing, sir. Or welcome to the Nut House. Make it where you can lock the cargo bay. You can. That's called a seal. You've got a seal button
Yeah,
here.
you'll do. Whoa, too far.
And that's the
It's
other
not
thing we should
really
try and take into account
perfectly
is
controllable.
if you try to open the cargo bay when it's sealed, it should stop you from doing that. Because what happens then is the hinge tries to pull and the seal tries to hold it, and the whole thing kind of does this.
That should do
Give
it.
a bump.
So
We can
let's give it a whirl
completely off.
anyway. We can
Right,
test a
let me
few
reel
things.
that out so you can grab it.
Right, I've grabbed it already. Yeah.
We'll get rid of
Reverse
this thing.
while you lift.
We're not going to drive
Right, that's winching out.
the up and down key
Yeah, leave
anymore.
that like that, and then go and reverse.
And reverse gear.
We'll stop that for now. Now we want to operate both of these together, so we're going to have to go through some kind of gate controller logic to actually activate these things. Do we need the door
there we
use
go,
platform to seal? Take what? No, it's not for liquid D22.
You've got 40 of
We have
cable.
separate liquid storage.
Yeah, give me the 60 again, and then we'll be.
Okay,
about
that's the
right, won't
connector thing. That can stay as it is,
50.
although I might
Probably
move
need a
that
bit
to
more
here
this
now
time,
and
so
get
I've
rid of
gone
this.
quite far
'Cause
back.
I don't think we need this.
we? I'll just leave
In
the
fact,
whole
I'm going to
thing
go and do
reeling
that
out.
actually.
Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll get the line taut and then just try and gently drag.
Well, it's sort of now stuck on the railing, unless you want to try and
Okay.
reposition by not pulling this cable out.
Cargo mags.
I can just try and turn around and actually drive away.
Get rid of
Ah,
that.
I'd be really worried about flipping it.
I'm going to get rid of that. This is
That's the full cable.
cargo door. Default state is
Let me
off.
see what I can
Off
do
will mean
adjustment-wise.
closed. That's the cargo door seal.
If I actually attach it, hang on.
It might
if
be
I
useful
attach
to
it on
have
the
an
other
indicator
side of
next to it
this
so you know when the
sensor-
cargo door's open, but you'll probably know that.
Are you standing by in the mag?
Yep, I am at the mag
All right,
now.
puppies. Not bad, mate. Not bad. Getting there. You can see
Right.
we've got more cargo space and we've
Um,
got beds. So you can go to sleep now, and then you can actually put them up and sleep vertically. It's full of wind.
Right, go on then, go.
Okay, we've got the
It's on.
power.
No, turn it off.
I'm going to drop this through a
It's on.
microcontroller, and then we can really figure this out. So if we go for a controller,
Right, turn
microcontroller.
it on again.
Oh,
It's
God.
on.
Why is the default microcontroller so big?
No, and off again.
It's off.
Okay. Okay, so this is going to be cargo door, cargo bay, controller. What's up?
Right, on.
Done.
Right.
I don't think
I
this
think
needs to be
that's got
quite
it.
that big. 4x4 should be enough for now.
And it's on the back of it, so hopefully it should.
It's
sort
not
of
so
twist out the
microcontroller,
gap
I
and
know,
then
right?
fall.
Here's an integrated
yeah,
circuit.
Move my right
You what,
side
mate?
as well, so I'm pulling in the right direction.
Imagine if your like i7
Basically, you
processor
wanna
arrived and it was
Carry
big
on
as
back
your
at
front
the
door.
angle that you are. I would go for it where you are, mate.
Cargo bay controller controls cargo bay and
Perhaps go
platform.
left rudder as you're going back.
Let's
to
do
sort of
that.
twist the front of the boat.
Logic. We're going to
Right, you're
have the button inputs is going to be the door control switch.
Oh, nearly.
Like that. And then the outputs, let's think.
Did it come around?
It's probably going to control the platform because I think the door's going to be controlled by something else. We might have some more input so it knows what position things are in. Like the output from this is going to be raise platform. And then we want another
stop
one.
Sailing there.
It's going to be lower platform. So this is going to like equivalent, just hold down the raise button or hold down the low button. We should make the platform come up and down. Make it so when it's on 0 auto locks. It's all going to have to drive from logic bias, because when you want to go the other way, you need to reverse that. You need to unlock the door and then try to move
so
it.
it's now lined up straight.
Like, yeah, when it gets to
Okay, so you
0,
just
it
need
can
to
lock,
literally
but then when you want to
pull
reverse it,
off.
it has to unlock and then start moving it away. So you kind of need to have logic to. This is essentially a controller that needs to be in one state or the other. If it's either trying to open or it's trying to lock. That's basically it. And it's driven by the input here. Whenever this switch is saying this is what you should do, it's going to try and do that. And also it needs to detect the position, doesn't it? So it needs a...
Isn't there a large connector on the sea floor that it
So you've
needs to
got
connect
output,
to?
raise platform, lower platform, and you've also
So
got...
we'd be better attaching the cable
We need a
to the
data
other end of
input,
it so that
a number.
we can sort of
We need to know
control
what
the up and
position
down.
it's in. So platform
Yeah.
position. We need to know what that's doing.
Gently does it.
There isn't
Too
really
much.
a gently on this.
We also need to have a output that says
Right, okay.
door seal.
This controls.
Make sense? Probably not. This is an input number. So this tells us what position the door's in.
Reversing now.
This tells us whether they want to open or close.
Reverse to the right, yeah.
From that, we have raise
Come on,
platform,
I've actually
lower
got the maggle. You
platform,
wanna
and
let the
seal
wind
the
show?
door. So
No.
this is going to be
Oh,
what this
no.
thing is trying to do to achieve what this wants. Think of it that way.
No, I haven't got it. You need to come back.
Clear as mud.
Okay. A third man would have been really handy here.
Yeah, I know, right?
Essentially, you either want this thing open or you want this thing closed, and that's what that switch is doing. You press the toggle button. Think of it like flicking your light switch on and off. That's what you're doing. You either want the lights off or you want the lights on, and it's a bit more complex.
Happy anniversary.
Place your bet on whether I get it correctly the first time. I'll take that bet. Whiteland, what odds are you giving me? Chris94, thank you for 5 years, Chris. Happy anniversary.
I'm gonna back right
Much
off.
fantastic
You
content. It's been a
spin
pleasure
me
being in the Nut
round
House.
and
Here's to
round.
another 5 years. Thank you, mate. 5 years, Chris. Nice, nice, nice. Right, we won't
Well,
bother
this is a bit
naming it yet.
tricky.
Although we'll save it, I think.
I'm gonna come at you gently.
Let's
It
call
would
it
be nice, but
cargo
we'll see.
That's 4
controller.
knots.
Yeah, if
All
you
right,
wanna kill it,
let's go
like,
and design some logic and get it
in about
completely wrong.
halfway.
Get rid of that, get rid of that.
That's 1 knot. I'm
Let's get our
coming at you
inputs
in.
and our outputs sorted. So, an output is... Oops.
Good job there isn't a
Raise,
time
lower,
roll, I say.
and
Okay.
door seal.
3 knots.
It's kind of separate.
2 knots.
Could you turn the lights off?
This is a bit of information. So green is data, red is logic. Think of it that way.
Stand up.
Red is like flick a
There we
switch.
go.
Green is like this is what's happening.
Come on, come on. Yeah. I've
Same
got
as me when it
yeah,
comes to the
go,
fuel
and
flow.
winch
That
it.
reminds me, White, that I need to rotate that needle
Oh,
around.
hang on. No, to take the winch back in.
You need a data output for the hinge.
Oh, the boat's still moving. Stop
No, we
moving.
don't.
It's fine. I just
The
want
hinge
the
doesn't- the
connector
hinge
on
is gonna be
that side of the
driven-
cage rather than this
The
side.
hinge is going to be driven
There you go,
from
drop it again.
the position of the platform.
Right, I'm gonna keep
Like
you
we
by
don't
the
know
cable.
what position the
I'm gonna
platform's
reverse.
in. Let's say the platform
We
gets
don't
halfway
need to
up and then
reverse
somebody
if-
flicks the switch and says, I
Oh,
want it
so
to
yeah,
go
it's
down.
moved away now, it's fine.
You can't
the
assume
cable's
anything
stuck
about
again.
what
The
position
maggle
that
is stuck on the
platform's in.
rail.
If you start
Can you
saying,
yank it over?
oh, you want it closed, well, I can start moving this.
Yeah,
No,
it's in.
it needs
Got it.
to go off that.
Okay,
Like it
I'm
needs
gonna
to do
reel
that.
out.
Yeah.
We have to consider it to be a target, not
Attached to you. No,
an
you're all
assumption.
Yeah, there we go. We're clear.
Right, so the other thing we might need is the door seal. We need to know if the door's sealed or not. I haven't got that yet. Let me update that. I want to know if the door is sealed. I think there's a thing we can get from that. The door
I'll give you the whole lot
controller.
again.
Mag force, no. The seal states. Okay, so that's whether the door is sealed or not. I don't know if we need to know that, actually. I think we can assume that whatever we're... No, not tomorrow, Chris, no.
Right, mag on.
And
Have I got the
Mag
Ryzen
on.
9 yet? Nope.
Right, okay.
Hopefully we get the
looks
build
good.
done in March.
Looks pretty good.
okay, I'm going to get into my
I'm going to
filter,
assume that we don't need that right now and see how we get on.
and I'm going to prepare for the off.
Right, so hopefully this should just literally
All right.
come forward and fall down with any luck.
You ready?
So one
Yeah,
thing
already.
is if you flick... If this is off, you want the door is closed, so you want it sealed, yeah? So if this is off, you want the door seal on. Let's put it that way. So you want to put a NOT gate in there.
That took a while.
Lol,
Power.
So if
that's far.
the switch is off, you want the door closed. Send that to here. Send that to there. So that will activate the door seal. Now the door may not be in position yet, but if the seal is active, when it gets down here, it will
So
activate.
what's the cable length?
In theory, we should be
Alright.
taking the data
Yeah.
point and taking that into
Very
account.
loose. But all we've got to do now is just winch it up and then lower it back down to the right plane.
So the platform position, in
As long as it's
theory,
still
this needs
attached,
to be
it's still
0
attached.
for
Yeah,
that
it's still
to
attached.
seal.
Right, so we are 125 meters away.
Okay, that's fine.
So
I'll
it's up
get
to you whether you want to winch this up or just
So if
leave
we
it
got
at this
a
level and just move forward.
what I have,
equal.
I'm over the target now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on then. Wait a minute.
Can you push it along, or
Yeah, I think so.
otherwise I could just winch it up and then lower it back down?
Yeah, no, we're getting closer. Winch it up.
Okay, winching.
Okay, constant number 0. I'm going to make it
Winch is coming up.
so that if the door position's not exactly 0, we're going to be in trouble. I don't know if this is going to work because the door position 0 may not be exact. You kind of want it close to 0, you know? Anyway, if that gets to 0, if the
Looks
platform
like he is
position
actually
equals
right under the
0,
rig, and
yeah,
I'm
constant number
basically
0.
next to the rig.
The platform position
Yeah.
equals 0,
So once it's winched up,
Then-
I'll move forwards a tiny bit just so it's right
Yeah.
up.
Right, lower the cable now.
and
Lowering.
let's get rid of that, go like that. Okay. Does this make sense?
Right, I'm just
So
gonna
if
go
the
down to
switch is
C4 and
off,
see what this is actually meant to look like.
and if the switch is off,
You
that
want more
becomes
cable
true.
No, I just want to see.
So
what
that's
we've
true.
got to attach it
And
to.
the platform position is in
It's,
0, then seal the door.
A big yellow thing, I think, if
Yeah.
I remember right.
So if the platform is on its way down, this logic won't activate. So it won't try and seal unless the
dark as well.
platform is at the bottom. And it won't try and
It's obviously
seal
dark down here
unless the
as well.
switch is off.
Yeah, you are right. So, it's
So the
like a
moment
yellow
you
thing.
flick that switch,
It's
it
got a large
immediately
connector on the
unlocks the
side.
seal.
Get an idea on
That's the logic.
where exactly.
Well, I am
sensor
worried about
module is
this because I
88
know that
meters
I
away
remember
from
when
it.
we were displaying this value, we could see that
Right, so
that
it's-
numeric display kind of not quite on
straight
0.
up.
So I'm a little bit worried about this bit here.
Have to
If
come
it
in from the
fails,
front,
it'll be
we'll have
that
to get the
bit.
height perfect to get it to
In,
attach.
in theory, I think we should have this as a, a
So
0.0,
where it's positioned is
0.01 or
right
something,
up
and then
this front
say
beam.
that's less than.
Okay, that's fine.
I think it'd be better to do that just because of the way the game works. Yeah. So just say like if the position
Right,
is
you're supposed to take
very
down
close to
that gantry
0,
lift that
so
you're
that.
using to grab the rope.
very
I
close
don't
to
think
0,
you'd
then
get
just
enough
snap the
Tied
door.
down, would you?
How deep that goes.
So you give a bit of tolerance to the system.
I'm just going to move the boat over to position.
You can use, I know. Will we see Pippa soon? Later, I guess. Does that make sense? Yeah, so that takes care of the door seal. As for the actual raising and lowering of the platform, right? Again, this is driven by what is it we're trying to do? Are we trying to raise the platform or are we trying to lower the platform? That depends on the switch. See, you can't have both of these on. Either you're trying to go that way or you're trying to go that way. You're never trying to do both. And also in theory, when you do reach your target position, which you know from this, when you do reach, you can stop pressing the button. You don't need to like hold the up button when it gets to its final position. So we can kind of have a check on where we are and see whether we need to keep pressing or not.
60 meters out, but the sensor's 30 meters.
I feel like you're in maths class again. Lol. This is logic class. This is even worse. Okay, so we're going to put that there. Whatever happens here, you're never going to press both of these. That's for sure. Is there a round or a floor logic so you can round number to a whole number?
Clutch button, this is awful.
Speak to the designer.
There's a flip-flop. I think there is maths logic.
We use less than half our fuel, which is good.
Clamps and input values set minimum maximum. Add absolute value.
Put the deck lights back on though.
Yeah, I'll put the kill lights on as well.
You may have to drop to a bit of lower script to do that.
And we can see what we're doing down there.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that should be perfect.
Well, all absolute value does is remove the sign, the negative sign. Abs doesn't actually round anything. I can't see any round operations. It's better than learning calculus, dude. I don't ever want to go through calculus again.
Right, so it should be coming straight down.
What was I going to do? So,
yeah.
if this is... We need to compare things. We need to compare the value
It's like not
of
heavy
our
enough to be
present
winched.
position.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just slightly buoyant still.
Well, it's like, according to the cable, we should have 30 meters out, and it's only 15 meters away from the boat.
Bunching up on the surface. It's going down there.
Yeah, I've just turned the winch off. We should be at 32 meters, and I've got it at 19 at the moment.
I put that there for a second.
But it's slowly going down still.
Part of the problem with these diagrams is just laying them out
Yeah,
so
I
it
don't
doesn't
think
look
I'll
like
have an effect
spaghetti.
on it either. I don't seem to be able to
The
pull it
function
down.
block can take a
No.
rounded function.
If you go right to where it needs to be and then come straight up, is it anywhere near in the
This
right
bit of
place?
logic will say, if this is true, then the door
Quite
is...
close, actually, yeah.
The platform's at the bottom,
So,
and
how do you
equivalent
feel
of that
about
would be
winching the cable out
the
max
opposite
and then
end.
disconnecting the mag.
if we say
I wouldn't disconnect, not yet.
0.9.
It is a little far forwards. It probably needs to be where the back of the boat is
Yeah.
rather than where the front of the boat.
If we say 0.99 greater than, let's move this back a little bit.
But it's coming down okay on one. It's not that far to push it. Just
I want to
by
have
swinging
the
into it
equivalent
to
here
get
as
it right.
well.
I don't know if you'll move it. Right, that's maximum cable.
Hang on, let's
Correct.
get these
Sync.
operations the right way.
It's only 46 away now.
Yeah, I've got it as 50 down.
A greater than B, so we need to make sure we get these the right way around. So if this number, why get rid of that? If the platform
Grab
is
the
greater
connector
than
on the front,
0.99, we know the platform is up.
Oh, yeah.
If the platform
I can
is
get it into position this way better as well.
less than 0.01, we know the platform is down. So this is our
I think we're gonna have to
platform
use the
up,
winch
this
to
is our
hold it at the
platform
correct
down.
height while we turn it to the right
Does that make
position.
sense?
Otherwise, it will just drop right to the floor.
Position's greater than 0.99 or position's less than
Large mags don't,
0.01.
like, properly attract. They just lock when they're touching.
Floor is inside the function
Well, I've
F.
turned them, I think they're both on.
Yeah.
Evaluates a mathematical expression with a one input variable. So if you put one of them down, you can say,
Nearly there. Oh, that, yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Even easier than I thought it would be.
min max ceiling.
That
There you
wasn't
go.
worth 6
There it
resets
is.
once.
So you can put,
really
yeah, you
wasn't.
can do it. Thank you. You can
About
put that.
16.
You can put floor X. So that's how you can floor a value.
Such is life.
FX, and then it has like various things you can do. You could make it calculate things. Can you combine them? You do like times the sine of x. There you go. Yeah, you can do clever stuff then.
Yeah, I'll turn the magnet off.
Never
before
used
we
that
just
yet.
get stuck on it.
Good to know you can.
Why can't we move?
So this is
Yeah,
door
we're all
up, this
clear.
is door down.
Ready to
The
run.
position, the current position of the door. Well, the platform. Platform is up, platform is down. That's what that logic is. So,
Is
when
your
do we want to
logic
press the
illogical?
raise platform? We want to press the raise platform if the
I
button
think
switches
you've
up
turned us down.
and it's not there. Yeah? So that is true, and that's not true. Then we want to keep raising. So we get an AND gate. Get a NOT gate. So if the switch is pressed and it's not in its high state, then raise the platform. Got it? That's how your logic makes your head explode. So button is pressed. Could you make an AI with logic? You could write this in Lua. You
That
could
system's
script
a bit
it.
more complicated than it needs to be.
So the door is the door key is pressed. So we want this to go up, and it's not
We're
there.
done now, Paul.
It's not what?
We're done now.
Okay. What with the mission?
Yeah.
All right. So what do you want to do? Like try sleeping for another one?
Well, we'll get back first, and then yeah.
Okay. But you know, thank you for 27. Now the other thing you can do is, do we consider driving this at the same time? So that's true. You can in theory put this through an exclusive OR gate and say, you know, that they can't both be pressed at the same time. It's that or that.
Yeah, if no mission pops up, we could always just do a fuel run.
True, but if no mission's going to come up, it means something's bugged.
Yeah, and that also then means no more research points, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll probably restart the game and see if that fixes it at that point. So we've got similar logic here. We're going to say, if the button, this is what it's going to reverse slightly, because it's going to say, if the button is not pressed, right? So you want the platform down. The button is not pressed. You've let go of the button. You don't want it. You don't want the platform up. You want it down. Now, is it in that position? You're going to see a couple of NOT gates coming in now. So the button is not pressed. In other words, we want the platform down, and it's not there. It hasn't got to that position yet. If that's the case, lower the platform. I was waiting for somebody to say it, Mika. I was waiting for somebody to say it. If it's a not and, so you've got and, right? Outputs the signal and of its two logical input signals. Outputs the logical NAND of its two input signals. A NAND B, a not and B. I'd have to write that out to remember whether that's exactly the case or not. For now, we'll just go with that. I know that's going to work. I can't remember. I'd have to write out the logic table to see whether a NAND would work in that case. If we swap that for a NAND, I don't know. If you want to go ahead and write that and see what happens. It is a bit like flowcharts. Now the question really is it possible for that to be on and that to be on? And the answer is no. Because it's driven by the switch, isn't it? If this switch is on, this AND may pass. If this switch is on, there's no way this AND will pass because we've got a NOT in the way. So this NOT inverts the logic. There's no way they can be on at the same time. Mr. Referick, that cheeky Nando's. I reckon that's where they got the name from, logic gates. Alright, so I think that's worth, let's update that in the game world. Let's link it up and see what happens. You think that should work? Somebody needs to actually write out the logic table for that with all the inputs and compare the table. But you know what? I'm going to do it myself. There's 0, 0, 1,
Science with
1, 0,
Squirrel coming
1,
up.
1. There's 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So if we do an AND operation, we get 0, 0, 0, 1. If we do a NAND, what we said we were going to knot it first, didn't we?
He starts writing proper code in the Lua blocks.
Like, I'm just waiting for it, really.
How are you doing that? Is there another button?
Yeah.
2 buttons for the horn.
I complained to the management, so Paul put me an extra button in.
Yeah, I think it would work. I think a NAND gate does work. If I've written it out correctly, I think a NAND gate would work, but I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way initially. Let's see. Did we put power on everything? I think we did. Right, logic. Here we go. So, the other thing is, we want to drive... So this is the platform here, and the position of the platform is currently being displayed, like the height of it is displayed here. But, from Baz's suggestion, we're going to drive the rotation target.
Okay.
We're going to drive the rotation target of the hinge from the platform height. So what that means is, if the platform's at the bottom, then the rotation target for the hinge is 0, so it'll be like that. As this comes up, this will be forced to raise as they go from 0 to 1. So whenever platform is fully elevated, this door should be fully open and vice versa.
Welcome back, Nutter.
We also need to take that data point and we need to send it into the controller because the controller needs to know what height is the platform at. The moment the platform leaves the what position? It loses signal and the platform will come down.
Oh yeah, we might want to reload because this full.
No, because it's a toggle switch. It's a toggle switch. You basically say what you want to happen based on a toggle. Where's my controller gone? There it is. So when we take the cargo door toggle switch and send it into the door control switch,
There you go, I fixed it.
like that,
Well done.
what we then do is we find the race platform and we say, we want you to raise that
Have you
track,
got hold of it, Jack?
raise that track.
It then followed you round.
Lower platform goes to lower
It likes
and
me.
lower. And finally, the door seal goes to this controller here. Now, the only fly in this ointment is I don't know if it's going to start off sealed anymore because it's not being driven by that, or what was it driving it before? Cargo door seal. It was being driven by that. And that's... No, it should actually work, I think. I think it should work. Let's spawn it in and see what happens. It's a toggle, but there's an AND condition. Yeah, but it should start off in position 0 and immediately lock.
If you spawn something in and then you despawn it, you get your money back, right?
Did you hear the seal? See? The green light is on. So the green light is on because it's sealed. Because what happens is it starts off in position 0, so the logic goes, oh, you want this cargo door to be closed, and it's in 0, I'm going to lock it. Now if I press that on, press the button, okay, the only thing is,
looks like you know what you're talking about.
all those years of computer science just for this moment.
I'm glad you feel like it was worth it. How
My
many
life
years
is
at uni?
complete. The only thing is, I don't think this has come up to its maximum height for some reason, but that's a different problem. Then if we press that,
Well, on another note, me and Jack are back.
Yeah, we're done.
yeah, now it should, when it gets down to nothing, it should auto seal.
Just waiting to sleep.
Happy anniversary,
Boom, baby!
Nutter.
SK, thank you for 69 months. There you go. Now, isn't that so much easier than faffing around with throttles and buttons? The only thing is I need to get this fixed. That hasn't come up to its maximum height, and I don't know why. Because that should go from 0 to 1.
Do you know what's completely disturbing and probably quite upsetting?
Yeah, you
What's
see
that?
what I mean about this? You see how that is
do all
not...
that without the
You see,
logic.
if I'd have said...
Not a single
If
one.
if I'd have put an equal check on this and said that needs to be 1.0, that whole logic circuit would have not worked. But because I said greater than 0.99, it works. Because there's no exactness in this. Like, as the ship is moving, the hinge might not lock at 1, it might just go a bit more. You see, look. Let's see what it finishes on.
Oh, we need an extra bed for Whiteland. Oh, there's one inside, isn't there?
There you go.
Yeah,
You see that?
one in the building.
That's not 0. But it is less than 0.1, 0.01, which is our tolerance. So our tolerance
Also,
was
there is
for a
another ship just
hundredth,
over to the side,
and that's
yeah, well,
8 milli whatever units. Yeah, I think it's because of length and the platform distance as well.
Can we just sleep to see if we can get a mission?
Yeah, let me despawn this first.
Ugh. Fine, we'll go over to the other one.
Let me despawn it, and then...
Anniversary, Nutter.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I'll add a bed, and then we can thingy it.
Well, there are 6 beds here, so you don't need to despawn anything.
There's 3 beds on the boat and 1 in the building.
There you go. You got 6 beds on this. It's 6 berth ship.
Just think you've quadrupled the price tag by putting 2 more beds on it, 3 more beds on it.
Wait, is that how much they cost?
Something like that, yeah. For a 6-berth boat.
You sleep in Whiteland?
Well, he's not in here, so it's going to rely upon stream delay.
No, somebody isn't asleep.
Yeah, Whiteland.
That was me, sorry.
Mr. Rowland, finally catching you live. Got a second child about 4 months ago, so my time at computer has been limited. Thank you, see you in the community, just being here. Enjoy, Mr. Rowland. Congratulations. Yeah, I think the mission system's bugged.
It's possible.
Let me
Certainly a
let me
new one on
save
me.
the game and restart my game and see if that kicks it. Because that's just not right.
It might be that we've done all the missions we can do with our current level of unlocks.
Or can it just restart them? Like, we
I
didn't
don't
complete
know.
all the missions.
I don't know if it'll cycle them again, or if cycling again takes quite a bit of in-game time, possibly. I don't know.
Well, I could edit the XML file and say any missions we've done, just obliterate them, but it wouldn't remember. Like, we'd lose all the history of it.
No, I think just we'll try the reset for the moment. That's the simplest try.
I don't know, Baz, because I thought no matter what length the rail is, it always goes from 0 to 1. That was the principle I was working on. In the building system in this game, always pretty complex. How can you make simple stuff? I'm playing it in
Okay.
advanced mode. You can play it in simple mode where you don't need to worry about a lot of stuff like fluids and exhaust and all kinds of things like that. Right, let me just quickly check something. Just gonna have a look at the save game. Stormworks, saves, paper 18, scene. You bet it goes to 1.5. Well, we just saw what it went to. It went to 1.00 something. Track slider isn't 0 to 1 and outputs its distance travel from a starting point 0.25 per block. Interesting. Well, I need to do some calculation if that's the case. Total missions completed 11. Total missions failed 17. Mission difficulty 1. In theory, but I'll have to fix it in a sec. Active playlist, blah, 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 blah. All these XML files are so big. The active missions list is empty.
Anniversary. Natter.
Active playlist. Fishing community, Arctic search and rescue. Do these sound like the ones that we didn't do? Lighthouse, Arctic mining, long distance shipping. Can you remember?
No, I honestly can't.
Josh Bosch, thank you
Run
for
back, what was the
34.
name of them?
Sky Power Company, Fishing Community, Arctic Search and Rescue, Brilliant Fuels Oil.
So the fishing company one would be like Retrieve Anchor.
Maybe.
And I think I was online at that point with you two, and Jack said we didn't have a winch long enough to do it.
Yeah, we ended up not doing that one. I remember that. We had to let that pass.
So that's one we've definitely not done.
Let me jump into a creative quickly and I can look at all the mission lists.
It's just that, for example, Fishing Community, it says completed missions, playlist element 1, stars 3. So we got 3 stars or something. I think where it's saying we've got 0 stars, that's perhaps where we didn't do it.
Yeah, and then maybe if it's 1 star, we completed one of, say, 3 tasks to complete the whole mission, or something like that.
I'm going to take zeros
Right,
out.
I'm just going to look at... Right, I've got the mission list up, so you've just got the subheadings, like Brilliant Fuels or Fishing Community.
Yeah, I've got what it calls a playlist.
Okay, so what playlists can you see?
Research Center.
On the Research Center, we have Retrieve Research Drone, which we've done a couple of times. Lost Swimmer, we've never done that.
We
Deliver
did that.
sensitive... Did you? Oh, okay. Deliver sensitive equipment, I don't remember that one. It says it requires a helicopter.
Happy anniversary.
Capture seawater sample, I remember doing that, but we couldn't finish it.
So should that be like in that category? Should there? So we've done like the research person, and we've done the other one. So should that be like 2 stars as a complete, and the other 3 we haven't?
There's more than 3 in here. Research Center has 10 you can do.
Well,
Like Rescue Research Submariner, me and Sean did that one.
I've taken out anything in playlist where it said 0 stars.
Right.
So, in theory, it should regenerate those.
Yeah, I think the problem is that some of these have, like the missions are set up to have specific requirements. Like capture seawater sample requirements helicopter. So that maybe won't pop up again until we have a helicopter. Or have
Yeah, look at our missions now. Join the game, look at our missions. See, we've not failed any now according to the list.
Okay.
So in theory, when we sleep, in theory, it should spawn missions because anything we didn't do, it'll respawn.
Yeah. Rejoining now.
So the thing about this range thing, though, guys. The thing about the range is, if that's now going to if that's now going to 6 blocks high, why doesn't that go to 1.5? That's literally driven off the platform height.
oh,
Wait, what?
retrieve oil rig part.
Wait, I just lost 3. Mustn't have saved it after putting the new beds on.
Oh. That's that one with that bit of equipment we've got to put back on the lift and take back up to the deck.
Oh, so basically we're starting from mission scratch again then.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to do any of them.
Well, if it's research points, it's research points.
Yeah, that's true.
4k of fuel, is that enough?
It's back where we just were, so yeah, it should be fine.
It stops at
Okay.
1 because the controller tells us to stop at 1. 1 second. Where does the
Just
controller
activate
tell us
that.
to stop
so
at 1?
it's exactly where we were.
Which controller, Baz?
Or we could spawn up outpost
This.
and
Linear track base.
just take a quick
Speed.
trip.
Ratio. I'm trying to
it should be
think. I
fine.
don't know of anything
Figure
that's
out
limiting
stuff.
it.
Oh, great.
The microcontroller. It's
I
not
haven't had the
limiting
induction
anything.
course, but we shall find out.
Microcontroller doesn't limit it.
Oh, master breaker's on.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Oh, the problem with this is... So the problem with this is... Because it can now go to 1.5... The actual lid is gonna be fed a value. Once it gets to 1, it'll be up, but it's gonna be fed 1 to 1.5. So I don't know what it's gonna do. Yeah, the door reaches its upper position before the platform gets there. Because it can't go
Well,
past
we're
1.
going. Stopping is another thing entirely.
It can't go past 1, but this can. That's fine. It just means that gets to its upper position before that. What happens when you reverse that? See how that goes down, and then when that gets to 1, it'll start. That actually looks pretty cool.
Gotta say, the visibility from the pilot seat is pretty poor,
Whoa, that is rocking around. What the heck?
especially with 3 beds in the way.
Lol.
I tend to drive exterior view.
Yeah, I never anticipated having beds on that lid, to be honest.
Well, to be fair, the sort of winch cluster at the front is not particularly great.
Well, when I put a crane on there,
Because
you'll be complaining.
well, it's like the pitch of the boat is so extreme when you're driving that you can't actually see where you're going.
Yeah, that's true. If you actually have stuff on there, it might try and crush it. In fact, maybe that lid should only come down later on, really. You probably want to put some kind of curve, mathematical curve between the position of the platform and the position of that door. Because, like you say, if you put big boxes on there, it's going to move down a little bit, and then the door's going to start trying to crush it. What we don't need anymore is this.
So I think you were driving more fuel efficiency, Jack.
Yeah.
And that's redundant now. We need somewhere else to put these boats. Put the boats, put the beds. I mean, we've kind of got space here, apart from the controller being in the way. In theory, you could... it's not high enough for beds, is it? The off button can go as well. Which off button? What, you mean the whole breaker switch? I kind of like having the breaker switch though, Baz. It means that if you want to open that cargo bay, which could in theory, in a storm, flood, you really have to know what you're doing, because you've got to throw that breaker and then hit that switch. I kind of like having that. The lower ramp button. Oh, this one. Wait, which one? No, this is cargo mags. We still need that. I think that works pretty nicely. I'm happy with that. What I'm not happy with is the beds. Like, I don't want all those beds there, but I've got nowhere else to
Try
put
and
them.
save some fuel, Jack. The rate we were burning it.
I'd also like that door to close later. When it's locking down, I'd like the door to move later.